Most importantly, that's an incredibly special group. And things were really difficult, I think, at the end of the year. We didn't end the way we wanted to. And there was a bad taste in our mouth. And kind of how the night went with the weather and things like that and a delay, and there was some talk about, hey, this thing might not get off. There was no way that I was going to leave Birmingham without those seniors and those guys in that locker room having an opportunity to go out there and put their hard work on display for one another. And if we had to stay here till midnight, we'd have stayed here till midnight because those guys deserve that.
Yeah, and Coach, like Coach said, the last two games lost to Memphis, so it was really big to come in here and start fast. And then Coach always talks about adversity, and with the rain and everything, sitting over for an hour and a half, we haven't had that since 2 years ago, UCF.
Yeah, we didn't go back out there.
Yeah, so just being able to handle that and going back out there and finishing the game.
All right, we'll open up for questions, and Emily has a microphone. If y'all will just raise your hand so she can find you.
Des mentioned the UCF game. What can you explain about what happened during that weather delay and what the discussions were and obviously your point?
I stayed out of the discussions. Actually, I give a lot of credit to John Cunningham, our new AD. I know that he came in for the first time. Hadn't had a whole lot of conversations with him, a little bit of time we've had together, and I think he was thrust into a leadership role right away. And I don't know. I didn't go in there because I didn't think that what I had to say was going to probably go over as well, because I probably wouldn't have said it the right way. Just being as emotional as I was. But I know there was some talk about, hey, this doesn't look good. And I told him, and he came in and asked me, I said, there's no way we're leaving this place without playing this football game some way, somehow. And he went to bat for us.
Before he was announced, you talked about wanting an energetic AD. Is that a good example?
Well, I think it's somebody that has leadership skills that's going to believe in the things that we're doing. And, I think it's a great start. It's a great start. I don't know exactly what went on in there, but I know there was some talk, and there wasn't somebody that was going to bend. They had our back and these guys' back, even though he doesn't know us or didn't know us.
Des, what was the player experience just during that time?
Everyone was just kind of, just chilling around the locker room because we didn't know how long it was going to be. It could have been 30 minutes. It could have been multiple hours. So, once we first got that first 30 minutes, everyone was kind of, juiced up, still ready to go. But then once we found out that it was going to be a little bit longer, people started taking off the pads, kind of relaxing a little bit, just so you don't get your nerves up and waste all your energy. But then once we heard that 10-minute mark, we were ready to go, then Coach Brady got us all circled up. We all started stretching and, kind of put a little twist to it. It was kind of going crazy a little bit, but it was fun.
It was a bit crazy. I was in the locker room. I'm like, oh, my goodness. I don't know who's leading this crew out there, but I don't know. Coach Brady is kind of in the same mode as a lot of these guys. And I kept thinking back to, I think we're going to have another 20 or 30 minutes. I'm not sure I want these guys jumping around and dancing like they are right now, but I know this, that when they said there was 5 minutes ago, that they would have been out there, and not warmed up. They wanted to play the game. They worked so hard. It didn't matter, what I said. I don't think they would have left that locker room without the opportunity to go out and play.
Crazy by Brady standards, or just more?
I don't know. I try to stay out of it, but it's energy. I think that's what the program is built around. These guys understand and know that. You got to have an incredible amount of energy to play this game and to be successful with this team.
Des, as a quarterback, when you see it's raining that hard and the conditions are like that, what's your approach or mindset?
So, we had our base opener plays, just, what we were going to come out, what we do every game, and then weather depending. So, we came out and we were going to see during warm-ups how we were able to throw the ball. We weren't able to get through our full warm-up, so we weren't really able to see because it was raining. But then when we came back out, it wasn't raining. But then as soon as we stepped on the field, it started pouring down raining again. So, that kind of changed our mindset a little bit. But, we're an offensive line-driven program, so, at the end of the day, we can rely on the run game to keep us going.
And then for Luke, second consecutive season with 11 wins, he ended with a bowl game win over an ACC team. I know you got more time for reflection later, but where do you feel about where your program is?
No, I think we're in a great place, but you never can get complacent, and that's kind of what I hit them with in there. That this feels really good, and this is well deserved. And I told them before the game that that things don't ever happen the way you want them to. You got this script and the things that you want, and there's always going to be adversity, and this didn't go as we wanted it to. We lost the last 2 games. We didn't have a chance to win the championship, but that doesn't define you and your ability to continue to fight and move on and and be proud of where you are and the opportunities you have. Because I told them this is where we belong. You know, whatever you thought and whatever you believed that we should have done or could have done, this is where we belong. And at this moment, we got to take care of business. And you know, I think that just seeing the energy that those guys had and how they played out there tonight, you know, obviously gives you a great feeling moving into the off season and into the winter, and not just where we're headed, but what kind of guys we got in that locker room.
Perry and Brian had 2 great games. Led you guys in tackles. They're 2 of those seniors that you talked about that are so special. Why is that? Why will that group be so special for you? For
well, at times they're really difficult to, and that's just being honest. I tell B Wright that all the time. But that's, you know, what makes you grow as a coach as well. You know, that there's all different kinds of personalities, and finding a way to get those personalities to commit to each other, to believe in the things that are happening. Obviously, it's a lot easier when you can see it, when you see the wins and you see the success in front of you. But it didn't just happen via the wins. But those guys mean an incredible amount because, you know, they've challenged us, and we've had to work in different ways to make sure that they understand that what it takes to be successful, not just as an individual, but especially as a team. And I think that we will grow, and these guys in that locker room will learn a lot, not just about what leadership is, but how you have to commit in knowing where those guys maybe were even before we got here to where they are right now. I think is what you love about the game and what you love about coaching 18 to 22-year-olds.
And for Des, there's a lot of exiting seniors on your side of the ball. Josiah and Morgan and Chris. What's the legacy that those guys have left on you as an impression?
I mean, it's just one that's never going to change. Like Coach said in the locker room, this team's one team, and the next year team's going to be completely different. So, you know, I had a great run with these guys for the past three years. And I know they've had an up and down little ride that they've had for their 4, 5, and 6 years. But those guys in that locker room, those seniors, they mean so much to our team, so much to the program, so much to the university. And, you know, we really just follow behind them because without them, we wouldn't be here.
Des, you weren't able to play in one of the Memphis losses, but then you come back today and have 4 touchdowns and two records as far as touchdowns in bowl games. How big was it for you personally to get that bad taste out of your mouth?
I mean, it wasn't just for me personally. It was mostly for the team because I don't know if you guys ever lost a conference championship, but that's not a good taste. Especially to go out. If we would have lost today, you know, 3 losses and then that's not a good taste for anyone. So come out here and get a dub as a team, it was a good feeling.
Probably for both of y'all, it seemed like I think the teams had combined for something like 21 yards first 7 minutes. You sit out for an hour and a half. Did y'all come out maybe more? I mean, a lot of times there's bowl game jitters. Did y'all come out a little more focused after that rain delay? Start moving the ball?
I wouldn't say focus, maybe a little bit more energy just because people had been sitting around for a little while, but everyone's focus was there from the beginning. Like Coach always tells us, when the foot hits the ball, that's when our guys are going. So I think it wasn't really about the focus, more about the energy just kind of going.
Did you see a difference?
No, I did. I think it has something to do with when you feel something that is slipping away, and I just mean that there's an opportunity. Tonight there was an opportunity, a slight one because we wouldn't have left, but there was a slight opportunity that something could be taken from them without, you know, really truly having an opportunity to go earn it and do it yourself. And I think that was a motivating thing a little bit because, you know, you never really realize what you got until it's gone. And there was an opportunity and there was a time right there when there maybe was some doubt that these older guys, especially seniors, are going to get an opportunity to go out and, you know, finish this thing and try to do it their way. I think that was something that maybe hit a little bit home and gave us a little bit of little extra boost and energy to go out there for that. I'm not saying just the second half, but the last 3 quarters of the game.
What's it say about your guys that they had those 2 tough losses at the end, and then they come out and they're, after that delay at least, they're in control pretty much both sides of the ball?
I think that it tells you what you got inside that locker room because it's really, when you're that close, it sometimes hurts even more. You know, last year we went 11-2, but we didn't get a chance to play in the conference championship. So you didn't have that hardship, you didn't have that shot, that something that was taken from you so close. And I told these guys after we got beat twice, I said, I'm not defined, and the moments in my life were probably who I am today are defined mostly by the defeats I took, or the most adverse situations and times. And, I said that will make us and help us grow if we use it in the right way more than any victory would. And I think what it shows is guys are believing and listening and seeing what's happening in front of them. because they care about what's going on.
I'd like to hear from both of you, Coach. You want to go first? How'd you feel James Hudson played today for getting out there the first time all year?
Well, I was, I told the offense I was a little bit concerned. Not concerned that James is going to be a really, really, really good player. I was concerned that how much emotion and energy he would have. We talk about playing with energy or playing with a passion and emotion, but I said you can't get emotional, and James not being able to play for over a year and a half, I was worried that he would get too emotional, but you know, I thought from what I saw, he did one heck of a job. He's going to be a force, and I think he's got a really, really bright future.
Like Coach Fick said, James, he's one of our loudest guys on the team. You know, he's out there. You know, when he makes a big play in practice, he's going to let you know that he made a big play. But as far as the offensive line goes, they all did a great job. And when you don't notice someone, that's when you know they did a good job. So I didn't notice James doing anything wrong. So I would say he had a hell of a game.
For Freeman and the defense, seemed like there was some 4-4. Was that the plan coming in, or was that because of the elements?
No, we had a plan. I mean, this is something we hadn't seen. I know everybody talks about how you guys, you know, planned against, you know, UCF or some of that. This was something we were comparing to a Navy type of run. It's just something we don't see on an everyday basis. You know, whether it's 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends, and the ability that they had to run the football. So it was one of those ones where you're going in there saying, okay, now there's some key spots that we got to play really, really well in order to stop the run. And I said it, I think, after the game out there, that, you know, the edges for us was to me the key defensively of how we were going to play, how we could handle their tight ends and stop the run game from the outside in. And to say what Elijah Ponder and Majay Sanders and Ethan Tuckey and Malik Van did to neutralize their run, I think when we go back and watch it, it's going to be a difference maker.
You mentioned a lot after last season heading into this year how important that bowl win was in the military bowl. A lot of people might look at this and say it's not a New Year's Six bowl or not a big bowl. Why do you feel like there's such a benefit, aside from just ending on a win, to what this can do for the program?
I tell these guys too often that I think 90% of college football are in this box, meaning their abilities are in this box. There's a 5% that have greater ability than everybody. There's a bottom 5% that might have less ability than everybody. Everybody else, to me, is somewhere inside of this framework. And energy and momentum in programs are what take you to the top of that. You know, there's no difference between maybe their guys and our guys, or, you know, anybody else that we've played. Some of those teams in the New Year's Six, the teams that have energy and momentum in their program and can find a way to keep it, are the teams that you're going to see continue to rise to the top.